It's Drewski McGillicuddy's The People Under the Stairs movie review. Hey everybody, it's Drewski McGillicuddy, and the time has come. It had to be done. Someone needed to bring this movie back to the light, because not enough people know about it apparently, and it needs to be talked about more. So I sat down and I watched my regular old DVD copy of The People Under the Stairs from Wes Craven. Now, I'll be honest with you, because somebody out there said something about they didn't like this movie and that it wasn't that good, and then their father had chimed in and was like, oh yeah, I agree, I didn't like it, it sucked. Something like that, I don't know. I wasn't paying attention. Not to mention the fact that I'm not necessarily the best reader. But I decided to sit down and I watched Wes Craven's The People Under the Stairs just to make sure I wasn't crazy, because I recently made a big deal about the fact that Lee McCoy had never seen this movie. And I believe there was a handful of other people that should be ashamed of themselves. Especially the people that have seen it and that had blasphemed it. Because I'm sorry, like I'll be honest with you, I was once like these people that had seen it and said some stuff. The first time I watched this movie, I was fresh off of seeing a Nightmare on Elm Street. Well, I probably watched the whole Nightmare on Elm Street franchise, because this was right around, like, I was 8, 9 years old, and I was like full swing obsessed with horror movies. And this, you know, because I was in the prime age of horror movies. Like, all the horror movies in the horror section at my time were made at a time before they started making these terrible straight to DVD. I don't know. What am I talking about? Point of the story is, this was back in a time where, you know, movies were good. Even the bad movies were still good. They were good enough. Here's my theory. Even we'll get to the movie review. I just want to bring this up. If you ever look up the IMDb, if I could talk, if you ever look up the IMDb score for a movie from the 80s, especially a horror movie, as long as it has at least a 5.0, that's chances are it could be a 10 out of 10 movie for you. But you know, the general population is populated by a bunch of assholes that don't appreciate art. Anyway, on to The People Under the Stairs. This movie takes place in Chicago, and there's this kid Fool, and he's getting his tarot cards read to him, and you find out that he lives in this building that's soon to be condemned. He's the last family that lives there, and his mom's real sick. She's got a cancer that's eating at her. I was doing the impression earlier for Sarah, and I was going to do it now, but I'm really nervous, so I'm not going to do it. Your mom's got a cancer that's eating at her that you can't afford, something, something, yada, yada. But it's got Ving Rhames in it, and he's Ving Rhames. Yeah. But anyway, that's beside the point. So he's telling Fool, your mom's got the cancer, and the landlords are going to throw you out because the rent's due, and if you ain't got the money, and then if you ain't got the money, the rent's going to be triple, which doesn't make any sense. Basically, there's these people that live in this house, and they're the landlords to this basically the whole neighborhood. They own all the real estate, the liquor store, the apartment buildings. They own everything. They live in this house, and Leroy, played by Ving Rhames, wants to rob this house. And he figures he could get Fool to help, so they get Fool to dress up like a Boy Scout. And he's going and, trying to sell cookies, and the lady's like, no. We watch what we eat around here. I don't want nothing to do with nothing you're selling. And he goes back, and then, what was his name? Felix? Spencer? Okay. Spencer. So Spencer goes up, dressed up like the gas man, And, you know, she gives him the third degree about, I'm going to need to see some credentials. He's got the credentials. She lets him in. And then they're sitting in the van. And he's like, man, he's taking too long. And Ving Rhames is like, he's probably in there stealing all the shit for himself. So why don't we go in there? Which is a terrible idea. Because this house, it's not your normal house. And this ain't your normal people living in the house, because they're not normal at all. Okay, this movie is crazy, and like I said, there's so many people out there that haven't seen this, and I haven't even gotten started. So like the first thing I want to say, since I told you that's pretty much the synopsis, is this kid needs money, and he goes to this house to rob it, and it happens to be the people that he owes the money to. You get me? Okay. So before we even get started with the horror, we've already got ourselves a nice drama, and technically it's a hood movie, and you know I love me some hood movies, so it's the best of both worlds, because it's a drama, which everybody loves a good drama, and then it turns into a horror movie, but it's also kind of a comedy. This movie really has everything that you could want in a movie, you know, and Wes Craven directed it. He's not a schlub. He don't mess around. He does a very good job. The only thing I would have a problem with is there are these people that live under the stairs, okay? That's why they call it the people under the stairs. And the fun part about the movie is finding out why these people are under the stairs and who these people are that live in this house and why they got all this money and they're just greedy. And then it's basically an action-adventure movie. Yeah, see, this movie does. It's got everything, because it's got these kids, and there's this crazy house. And inside the walls of the house, there's this people. There's this person. His name's Roach. And he's running around inside the walls. And the people that live in the house are trying to kill Roach because they can't find him. And anyway, what can I say? Help me out here. Should I tell them everything or just let them find out on their own? Are you one of those people like Lee McCoy? I don't know what's going on.
Just hit the high points.
Just hit the high points. Like, the whole movie's kind of a high point. The only problem, like I said, I was going into a problem I had with the movie, and then I started trailing off somewhere else. All right, the people that live under the stairs. We'll get back to it, okay? Look, see, I'm good at this. The people that live under the stairs, they kind of, I mean, I could see them being pale because they've lived under the stairs. There's no sunlight down there. But some of the prosthetics kind of look weird. Like there's this one in particular, and he just kind of looks weird. And, you know, they all kind of look weird. But I guess, you know, it was the 90s, so I can live with it. So I'm going to live with it. I'm going to go ahead and live with it. I'm going to let it slide. But there is a problem later on towards the end of the movie, but we'll talk about that later. But basically, Fool and Leroy are in here. We're looking for, God damn it, Spencer? Should I start over?
No.
I'm just going to start over.
Push through.
So, what's his name and the other guy are going around looking for the other dude, okay? And they can't find him, and then eventually they do, but he's dead. The dude is dead. He's in the house too long. He saw something he shouldn't have seen. He sees some evil, okay? And soon, later on, somebody's going to hear some evil, and then somebody goes, and then... Anyway, back to the damn movie. So Leroy and Fool break into this house because they see the people leaving with Spencer inside. So they go and they break into the house, and there's this big giant Rottweiler that just tries to eat them, but they outsmart the dog and they make it into the house. And, you know, they're looking around the house, and they eventually do find Spencer, and he gets back because when he comes back to find Leroy, the man and woman that own the house are coming back to the house, so he's trying to get them to let him know that they're coming back. And he asked if he found Spencer, and he says, yeah. And he said, well, how'd he look? He said, you think he was white before? You should see that sucker now. And it's the best line in the movie. Should have won an Oscar. But anyway, so basically, they're trapped in this house. The whole house is like booby-trapped and locked down. This is one of those, like I said, I keep saying action-adventure, but there's like other other movies where, like, you know, you go into this house and then you're trapped in this house and you can't get out. Like, what the hell was that one movie that I just watched? Intruder? Anyway, don't worry about that. We're here to talk about the people under the stairs. So they're trapped in this house, okay? And there's this girl this whole time that's living in this house. She's not allowed to see no evil. She's not allowed to hear no evil. And she's not allowed to speak no evil. Did I say it right? Are you over there paying attention, making sure I'm not fucking up?
No.
Jesus fucking Christ.
Hear no evil.
See no evil, speak no evil. Anyway, just, you know, don't say or do anything and you won't get, like, a whooping or possibly thrown into a scalding hot bath. And, yeah.
That's horrible.
The things that happen to this poor girl, and, like, she's got, like, the palest skin because she's never been outside because these people are fucked up in the head, okay? And I don't want to, like, tell you all about everything, but, like, basically there's a girl living in there and Fool comes across her and he kind of figures out what's going on and is wanting to help her, and then he figures out there's the people that are under the stairs and we kind of need to help them even though they're scary. And this movie's fucking crazy, and I can't believe that there's so many people, especially people that should have seen it by now because it came out right in the prime time, but you know, they were wiping ass, I guess is what they told me. But you know, now's the perfect time to watch this movie because it just gets crazier and crazier and crazier and crazier. I mean, there's people in gimp suits running around with shotguns just blowing holes in the wall because one of the people that lived under the stairs, he escaped and now he's crawling around on the walls, and his name's Roach, and he's one of the guys from Kids in the Hall, I think. Isn't that what that guy's from?
Roach?
Yeah, he's been in a bunch of stuff. I don't know.
He's been in so many things.
Anyway, so yeah, but he can't talk because his tongue was cut out because he spoke evil, and that's funny because, you know, all the kids, yeah, basically the people in the basement are kids, and they've all had either their tongues or their ears or their eyes cut out because they spoke, seen, or saw some evil or something like that. But anyway, basically, I want to tell you the only problem I had with this movie, and it's funny, and I'll be honest, because I watched, I went looking for some reviews to watch before I made my review, and the only one I could actually find that would, like, anybody would even know who I'm talking about was We Watched a Movie, and they said the same thing that I'm about to say, is that the movie feels like it has an extra act that could have been taken out. Like, stuff has happened and it kind of resolves itself, but then there's an extra 20 minutes tacked on, and I feel like they could have, like, somehow commenced it down. Like, not that anything bad happens, it just feels like the movie kind of repeats a beat there towards the end. But overall, this movie is a must-see for any horror fan, especially if you're a Wes Craven fan and you've never seen this movie. I would probably say, no, I can't say it's the second best movie because there's just something about Last House on the Left, even though this movie's, can't do this anymore. It's better acted and all kinds of stuff. But yeah. Anyway, so since obviously I can't get my thoughts out properly, that's going to be as good as I can get for now. So if you haven't seen this, we're going to go ahead and rate it. I don't want to spoil anything. I just want you to go into this knowing that there's these people that go into this house and they can't get out, and then other shit happens, and then it gets fucked up. But the acting is great all around. Oh, and these people that play the bad guys, oh my God, it's like some over-the-top cheesy goodness. So I don't see why anybody wouldn't just absolutely love this movie. So I'm going to go ahead and rate it so I can calm down and go do something else. I'm giving it a Cody Leach can kiss my ass, everybody. Because, you know, he want to talk shit, you know, he can kiss my ass. That's what I'm giving it. Basically, that's like a 8.2. I don't know what I'm talking about anymore. It took so long to make that fucking intro. But, you know, hey, I put my best effort into it, everybody. So make sure you click the like button if you liked what you've seen here. Let me know your thoughts in the comments section down below. There's a subscribe button, all these other things like a bell and whatnot. Just help me out, will you?